What's going on, everybody? Happy Thirsty Thursday. Welcome in to another edition of Dangle Bet Celly presented by PointsBet. Chris Meaney and Eric Young here with you. 10 games on the ice in the NHL. You guys know the drill. Do us a solid. Smash the like button. You have any comments, any questions, you can leave them in the comments section. If you circle this video a little bit later on and you have a question, you can also leave it in the comments section. I'm also circling back on these videos at the Eric Young, at Chris Meaney. I'm Fantasy Hockey Championship Week. Any questions that you guys have at all, hit us up. You're listening on iTunes and Spotify. It's not too late to rate, review, subscribe. Let's get this podcast moving up as we inch closer to the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is Thursday, April 11th. The regular season is over a week from today. And EY, I'm ready. I'm ready, man, for it just to be over and just give me the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like all these teams that have just been losing lately, Philly, just take a hike. Flyers take a hike. Islanders have won a bunch in a row. Let's put the Islanders in. Let's put the Penguins in. The Capitals can't score goals, although they beat Detroit the other night 2-0. And I looked at the shot.
Outplayed completely.
Outplayed. Charlie Lindgren. That's how they win hockey games, man. They win hockey games like 2-1, 2-0 on strong goaltending, mostly between Lindgren and, well, mostly from Lindgren, but we've seen a little bit from Kemper. I think last week he had a good game too, but I'm ready for the playoffs, man.
Yeah, this is always a weird time. You're excited, but there's just like all these games that are just kind of in the way. Like, I know that it's not decided, right? So there's that to be excited about. Like, we're going to see games that matter probably right down to the last day, but
yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Which is exciting. Don't get me wrong. Like the last day playoff stuff does excite me. You know, who's going to be able to pick up a victory in the last like couple of games or whatever. But we'll take a quick peek at the standings. We'll get right. Yeah. And the Habs and the Red Wings play a home and home. See if Montreal can play spoiler to your Red Wings now. Leafs are clinched. Islanders at 87 points. Have won 5 straight games. I think we've been riding them on this show. They've won 7 of their last 10. It looks like they're locked in because the only team that, I mean, the Penguins can catch them 3 points back. Both teams have 4 games left. The Capitals 4-4-1 in their last 4-4-2 in their last 10, and they're in a playoff spot. They got 85 points. Pens one behind them, Red Wings one behind them, and the Flyers lost 8 straight. I think they have 2 wins in their last 11 games since John Tortorella made Sean Couturier a healthy scratch. They look kind of finished at the moment, you know, allowing 9 goals to the Habs. But I thought that was interesting. I know a lot of Flyers fans. I had some people reaching out in the DMs like, you know, it's not on Tortorella. It's that they can't make a save in Philadelphia. I agree. They can't buy a save. But Eric, it's possible that Tortorella may have lost his room when he made his captain Sean Couturier a healthy scratch. Like they have 2 wins in their last 11 games since he did that.
Yeah, I feel like that, whether it's effective or whether it's right, that kind of coaching is out, right? It's just you're dealing with different kinds of human beings now, and I understand that worked with Vinny LeCavalier and you know these other guys, and it's worked here and there, and I think these players and this team is a better team because John Tortorella was the coach this year. But it certainly didn't put them closer to their goal. It put them farther away. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
they're going to miss. And what's the old saying? If you're going to miss heaven, miss it by a lot.
Yeah.
And they're just going to barely miss. And they're going to be in that mushy middle. So there's no reward for that. You know, the only reward, I guess, is some of these younger players playing in games that matter. The biggest problem I see with that is when the game started to matter, the team folded.
Right.
So what do you do? What do you do with that information?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a bunch of talented young kids, and as soon as when push came to shove, they ran and hid. As soon as I took their captain away, they started sucking their thumbs and didn't know what to do. So, you know, it's, I don't know, man, 6 of one, half a dozen is of the other. You know, you can blame Tortorella, but in the end, he can't play the games. But
no,
are they irritated with him because he's challenging them at every turn and sending guys down and scratching guys? And he's at this point, like he's just saying, yeah, I don't know, we tried. That's the coach saying, like, I pressed every button. My bag of tricks is done. I've used all my tricks. So who knows?
They've lost 8 straight. They have 1 win in their last 10. I mean, they're still in this thing, but it's pretty tough. I mean, they have 3 games left, so it's looking pretty douche. Mansky's in here. Flyers guys, this has been a rough stretch, but it's comical the amount of bad comments regarding Philly. They overachieved and regression hit. It was wildly successful for the team at the end of the day. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a really nice step forward. I mean, I think EY nailed it. It sucks it's the worst place that you could be, in the middle of the pack, like not making the playoffs and not getting a top 10 pick. But at least there was some positive moments. We did talk about Harrison hitting a rookie wall, and that seemed to happen with them. And unfortunate for the Flyers and the whole Carter Hart thing too. I don't want to dive into that. We'll see how that plays out over the next couple of years, but losing Carter Hart seemed to be the start of the downfall for the Philadelphia Flyers. So we got 10 games here to get into. Your Preds have clinched. Vegas has lost 3 straight all of a sudden. The Blues are 3 back of them, but they only have 3 games left, and Vegas has 4. The Kings and the Golden Knights are the only 2 teams that haven't clinched yet, and the Blues are the only team that can get in. Everybody else in the West is eliminated here. Evan says he got the Rangers at -130 in reg against this awful Philly team. What a steal. Yeah, I mean, I guess he just continued to pick on them. I think at some point they may win a hockey game. At some point the Rangers may rest some guys, but 3-point cushion here with 3 games left. They can pretty much wrap it up in the Metro with a W. This one I'm a little hesitant here with Tampa -40 in regulation. I think we said it on Tuesday. We were in on Tampa to beat Troy's Blue Jackets. Another good game from Kucherov and Duclair and all those guys. But something to keep in mind here is that players are going to rest, right? There's nowhere for the Lightning to go. They're not going to be able to catch the Maple Leafs at 6 points back, and Washington is not going to catch them, or whoever that second team in the wild card is not going to be able to catch Washington. So yeah, it is a good matchup against Ottawa today, but I would wait this stuff out with these teams. I know Kucherov is probably going to play EY. He's going to get as many points as he can, but I wouldn't, be surprised if Vasilevsky is, not playing the rest of the way. Maybe one game, maybe Hedman takes a seat. Stamkos takes a seat, all of these guys. So you'll probably actually get a better number if 3 or 4 of those players are ruled out of the game tonight. That may go down to like -120. So just be hesitant there, Evan, and other people on some of these teams that don't have anything to play for. They're already locked into a spot. The playoff teams, rather, I'm saying. Dylan Guenther, for 2.5 shots last night, +110, hit the Yotes money line. Felt like they had a little extra motivation after the news broke about Utah. Dylan Guenther has actually been one of our favorites over at FTN. I think 2 or 3 games in a row, we've had the over on his shot prop. We've been riding him for the past 5 or 6 weeks. Evan, it's a good call by you. Gunther's a hell of a player, and there's some. He's a shooter on that first power play, and looking real nice with him and Logan Cooley. Played both of those guys in DFS last night. I'm a sucker for the Guenther and Cooley connection. Troy's favorite play of the day, Matheson and Marchenko over 1.5 shots at -106. How about Matheson in the season he's having? When do the Coyotes jerseys go on sale? I want to buy a Keller jersey commemorate my fantasy hockey championship. Maybe wait and see if there's like a Grand Canyon logo or something on that jersey for you. Robbie Hockey, good morning, fellas. Bertuzzi over 0.5 points, -125, his best bet. Pens and Wings, huge tonight. Absolutely. Very huge. Troy, I will bet so much that the Rangers eliminate the Islanders in the first round. Torts got every ounce of this team. I didn't 100% agree with the handling of Couturier, but also wasn't playing well and needed to be held accountable. Yeah. I don't agree with that at all. You can't talk me into it. I don't care how bad he was playing. You can put him on the 4th line. You can bench him in the 3rd. You don't make your captain a healthy scratch. It's really, I guess I'm old school.
Bad luck.
Yeah, it's just not. And I know that people in that room weren't feeling it. You can't please everybody. You got to be a hard coach.
I get what Adam's saying, right? Like they definitely outkick their coverage, but the truth is, saying it's wildly successful is wrong. This is the complete opposite thing. If you're a manager, you wanted this team to be. They're not going to make the playoffs and make extra revenue money. They're not going to play in the games that really matter and get real experience and playoff experience. They're going to play to the end of the year. They're going to miss the playoffs by a couple games. To no fault of their own, starting goalie disappears midseason. Backup goalie who is maybe going to play 15, 17 games has to play every game for 5 months. They overachieved, but overachieving in this way and how they ended up, it is worst case scenario.
Let's get into their right. But they do have some really nice pieces, and we'll see. We'll see what the future looks like there in Philadelphia. Let's start with them. Philly in New York, right? Some talk already about jumping on the Rangers. The Islanders did take it to New York. And you know what? I'm with you, Troy. Like if there's some sort of Rangers and Islanders matchup, but man, one thing that you guys all know this, you're all super sharp, is a hot goalie can steal a series or two. And we've seen that over the past with teams that really maybe don't even belong to be in the playoffs, like Carey Price and the Montreal Canadiens. Hellebuck is a guy, in the past that has, won a series or two for the Winnipeg Jets. And I think Ilya Sorokin's good enough to do that too. But for tonight, Flyers on the road at MSG against the New York Rangers. Latest odds here, we got New York as heavy favorites, minus 218, and the Flyers checking in at plus 185. If you want to back the Rangers in 60, minus 140 at DraftKings, I would recommend in 60 bets over at Bet365 for the early payout. Usually a slightly better price over there as well, so keep an eye on that. For tonight, for me, it's two guys that I've been riding for a long time here over the past little bit. Alexis Lafreniere at minus 105 for a point, and Artemi Panarin, man, he's not getting a lot of the attention. We've talked a lot about him on this show. We don't need to dive into him too much, but we continue to say the same things. He's shooting more. He's not going to be in the conversation for Hart. It's just one of those seasons where there's just a lot of really good performances. Heck, Austin Matthews may not even be a nominee for Hart Trophy. It's only 3 guys. And according to Vegas, he's not the top 3. Right. Think about that. He scores 70 goals, and Kucherov and McKinnon and McDavid are going to be the nominees. So, Panarin's had a really good season. Unfortunately for him, just a lot of other players have. So he's plus 125 for 2 points tonight. Those are my 2 guys. I'm not doing anything on the Flyers side. I watched how pathetic they were against the Habs. It was just like, my goodness. Like they just, to me, seemed like a team that was absolutely just ready to pack it in. Maybe one guy I'd pick, like Owen Tippett, but as long as if it's just Sturkin, I don't even know if Flyers get a point. So I'm out on them. What you got?
I'm going to go Konechny and Tippett on the Philly side, and Panarin and Kreider on the Rangers side. Okay.
Rangers win. Flyers get a win at some point.
Man, I see. I mean, is Shesterkin going to play? I think if Shesterkin plays, they probably win. If Quick plays,
there's a chance.
Come in and throwing sticks. The stick throw is really the only move he's got left.
Yeah.
Garbage pail throw, maybe onto the ice. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, just the fact that if they win this, they basically clinch the Metro. I think they'll be ready to rock there in the game. Okay, Washington and Buffalo, Capitals and the Sabres. This game happening in Buffalo. Washington checking in on the money line as plus 116 dogs, and Buffalo at minus 135 if you want to back them. Throw it over to you. What you have in this game?
Going back to Ovi, 135, and Dylan Strome at 280. Tage Thompson at 145, and Benson. Benson's playing on the second line and playing on the top power play, and he's plus 500. And I've got him in an interesting bet that I'll reveal at the end of the show.
Oh, baby. Washington doesn't score a lot of goals, but the Ovechkin Strome same game parlay for points is pretty interesting to me at plus 125. The Sabres is just I see what you're saying about Benson. He has been very noticeable. It's going to be the top line for me. Like Tage Thompson and Alex Tuck are all plus 115 for point tonight over at Bet365. So I like that one. Peterka is, he's too juice now all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like he's He's minus 175 for a point. I think I saw at BetMGM was minus 160. It's getting a little steep. Yeah, BetMGM is offering minus 160. I actually don't mind the shot prop at plus 120 for 4 shots. We all know that Tage is the shooter on that line, but Peterka's been shooting quite a bit. I'd say there's value in like plus 160 for an assist or 4-1 for a power play point for JJ Peterka of the Buffalo Sabres. He's been really, really good over the last little bit. I like the Ovechkin call, right? I mean, just continues to score. He's trying to put his team on his back there and score some goals. But Tage Thompson, Peterka, these guys are both 3.5. That's the way that I would go in that game. Yeah, minus 166 last night at midnight for Peterka for a point. I mean, it's just too much. They weren't together, but they were like they've been. I don't know if Szymanski been watching the Capitals, man. Like their lines have. I've been looking at their 5-5 lines after every game, and there's like 7 or 8 different combinations. Plus, I play in the power play together, so I don't mind it. Ovechkin and Strome together for the point. Actually, I really don't mind it. I think I've seen a lot of 5-5 play for them, and the power play is kind of what I'm after, where I think the point will come from, anyways. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot more to add in that game, but we'll see how it plays out. It's just this is a little bit too, it's a little bit too steep. But as a single, for me personally, it's a little bit too steep. Minus 160, it feels a little steep as well. But he's been hitting the score sheet. He's been scoring some points. Maybe put that one into a parlay. Detroit and Pittsburgh. What are you rocking, by the way? Are you not?
Leafs. Got the Leafs.
Okay. Next, Detroit and Pittsburgh. Not as fun at all. No. What do you have on your card for this game?
I'm going back to Larkin at 170, and Kane got one at the end of the game. I don't know if that was a goal or not a goal, but I watched the majority of that game. I mean, Detroit manhandled them. I mean, dominated play from whistle to whistle, and they got goalied by Ingram. I mean, he just turned into the best goalie in the league, and there's nothing they could do. It's sad, but that's where we're at. Like I said, Larkin and Kane and Pittsburgh side, I'm going to go Crosby, and I'm going to go Malkin.
I like Pittsburgh here at minus 145. It seems a little steep, but it's been playing really good. I know Detroit played good against Washington the other day, but Pittsburgh I just feel a little bit more confident with some of their players and how things are going for them, but I actually don't feel great about any props in this game. I really don't. Like if the whole Crosby and Russ thing, at 365 has been pretty consistent for most of the season. The past couple of games, there's been it hasn't really hit, but it's minus 105, so it doesn't really seem fantastic for me. Carlson's been shooting. I'm just gonna move on. You got the goal scorers there. I would say that Crosby finds the back of the net, and I like the Larkin call as well. Dylan to score. Lucas Raymond for a point. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is it's not too bad. You got Bunting, point and shots. I dig it. There's a little bit of value on both of those guys, but I think there's some better spots here tonight. So I'm just going to continue to move right along here. We're rolling. Columbus and the Florida Panthers. A little bit of a lopsided affair. This is another team like that I expect to kind of rest here down the stretch, but 3 points back of the Bruins. Both teams have 3 games in hand, and also the Leafs are just 3 back with a game in hand. So we should see a full Florida Panthers squad here today, try to take care of business against the Blue Jackets. They definitely want that home ice advantage in that opening round. It looks like we're going to get Florida and Toronto. I don't think Leaf fans are asking for it this year. We want Florida. We want them. Minus 400, the Panthers today on the money line. And also, if you want to take them on the puck line, it's just minus 150. A little bit of juice there. I don't know if I've seen enough to take them to win by 3 goals at plus 120 tonight. But Tarasenko let me down the other day. But I don't think I have an issue going back to him against the Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
what do you have?
I'm going usual suspects here. Reinhart 115, it feels like teams that have guys like this, they're trying to get them the puck. They're like, how many can we get? Like you're seeing it with McKinnon, you're seeing it with Matthews for sure. Guys passing to them and forcing them. I mean, they're the best players in the world. They can try to do this, but there's times where there's a better play, but they're still trying to do it, right? They're still, and I think that the Florida Panthers are going to continue to do that for Reinhart. He's at plus 115, and Matthew Tkachuk, because he's the best, 155. He's just a complete savage. Columbus, I'm going back to the guys I had on Tuesday, Vorkunov and Marashenko. Marashenko scored again. He's hot right now, like white hot, and he's at plus 310. Vorkunov's hot too, and he's at plus 410.
Yeah, I like Marchenko. Both of those guys, right? I think what we said the other day with them is there's some value to be had with those players. Of course, like part of it's playing for Columbus, but also moving up the lineup with some of these injuries. Yep. Like Vegas just hasn't really adjusted. So yeah, I'm seeing like 5-1 for Marchenko to have a power play point, plus 330 for Marchenko to score a goal. That's at Bet Rivers, 20-1 for first goal tonight. Like these are pretty decent like little sprinkles at this time of the year for a guy that has 23 goals and scored twice the other night against Tampa. He had goals in 3 straight games as well. So I'm kind of interested in his shot prop, but I'm more interested maybe in just like, hey, I think the safer pick maybe for a point, like maybe a unit on the point at plus 120 and maybe a bit of a sprinkle on the goal. And hey, he's got 2 power play points in the last couple of games as well. Who'd you go with for Florida? You went with Reinhart?
Reinhart and Tkachuk.
Yeah, Reinhart and Tkachuk. Barkov's plus 135 for 2 points. Actually, let me check the prop shop there. I think there's probably a better number on that one. No, BetMGM as well. Barkov plus 135 for 2-point night. Tarasenko's minus 144 point. I like Marchenko. Troy obviously does as well. If Marchenko doesn't score tonight, I'll let EY chest slap me like he did to Steve Dangle. Marchenko's putting the puck in the back of the net. Take it to the bank. Mark my words. Yeah, I think the Panthers take care of business today, but there's really, I don't know, if you want to do minus 150 on the puck line, I think it's okay. I would say my goal scorers would be Barkov and Tkachuk. 2.9 for Barkov, plus 135. All right. Ottawa and Tampa. Yeah. I just have this feeling that Tampa's going to start resting some guys here soon, but if Kucherov,
I got that same feeling. I got that same feeling, and as the Ottawa guy, I don't think it matters. They're brutal.
Kucherov minus 105 over at BetMGM for 2 points. He's going to play, I believe. We talked on Tuesday about Tampa chasing records, and we've seen this before in the past with them. Other guys I think may sit, like I said earlier, Hedman, Vasilevsky, things like that. But minus 105 over at BetMGM for Kucherov to pick up 2 points. And as long as he's playing, Declare is in play again against his former squad. It was plus 130, I think, on Tuesday, plus 105 for him to pick up a point. That second line is playing really good as well. It's Stamkos and Anthony Cirelli. Hagel's in there. You mentioned Nick Paul the last episode. He's been playing really well. So there's different avenues to go here if Tampa decides to rest some guys, even if they don't decide to rest. These guys are still in play, like Anthony Cirelli plus 110 for a point. I dig that. What do you have over there?
Yeah, I'm going Brady Tkachuk at 175 and Giroux at 240. And then on the Tampa side, Kucherov 110. And I mean, look, there is a risk that they sit him because he's old, Steven Stamkos, but he's firing the puck right now. Just had a hat trick. It was invisible for a lot of this season. And it would appear that that's not the real Steven Stamkos. So with the real Steven Stamkos, please stand up.
How high would a hit prop have to be for Brady Tkachuk for you not to take the over on
it? Over 10.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to find some research here. We're coming at you guys at 10:30 Thursday morning Eastern time here.
I'm going back to bed just in case anyone knows.
On Tuesday, Cooper told us pretty early about his lineup and who would rest and who wouldn't play. So I'm not seeing anything just yet. I don't know if the chat is either. Did Sorelli do Claire Point? I'm thinking you like this one. Means yeah, I do. I definitely do. I'm just trying to find some value in the betting market, and both guys are plus money to pick up a point. So it is the Ottawa Senators after all. And I don't believe Stützle is going to be with the team. So as long as Tampa's boys are in there, they should take care of the Sens on home ice. Devils and Maple Leafs. The Leafs are playing pretty good hockey. Looks like the Devils are kind of waving the white flag there. Jack Hughes is now sidelined. He's going to need shoulder surgery. So the Devils lines are mixed up a little bit. Somebody that we talked about on Tuesday, and I think it was already brought up in the chat from Robbie, is Tyler Bertuzzi. We talked about what these lines may look like come playoff time. I mean, Bertuzzi and Domi, both of their games were taken to another level when Mitch Marner was sidelined with this team. Tyler Bertuzzi, man, I drafted this guy in so many spots, and I had to cut him loose like months ago. But the last couple of weeks, man, he's coming off the 3-point game. He's had 2 goals there. He's got 6 goals since March 26th. He's got a couple multi-point games here over this run. In fact, over the last month, March 14th, roughly the last month, he scored 9 goals. It's about 12 games or so. So it's really hard not to. I mean, minus 120 for a point. Plus 250 for a goal. Still some decent value there. I think the Leafs will. 2 things I know for sure. They're trying to get Matthews to 70 goals, right? I mean, they're all talking about it. They all want him to get 70. He's on the ice, empty net stuff. I think he actually only has 1 empty net goal this year. It's pretty impressive. But Matthews shots, like Matthews goal, Matthews first time goal, multi-goal, all these things, like it's something that it's like the incentives in the NFL. Like, in the final week of the season, you say, oh, this player needs 3 catches for a $500K bonus. Like, they want to get it to him. And I don't think there's any bonus in Matthews' contract, but everybody wants him to get 70, him included. So I know that you're picking him tonight.
I am. Yeah, for sure. I got Matthews at -130 and Nylander at 135. New Jersey, I'm going to go Jesper Bratt. He's in between playing Nashville and playing Browns. Like the only team I watch is the New Jersey Devils. And Bratt has been very, very good. Jumping off the screen to me. If I can't pick Hughes, I'm going to pick him, and I'm going to pick Timo Meier. We talked on Tuesday about he's kind of being the real Timo Meier again, and the world's a better place when Timo Meier's Timo Meier. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, the Devils lines. I mean, I thought he was the odd man out against the Leafs the other night on that second line with Eric Holla. Yeah, it looks like they're doing it again. I think Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt are an interesting kind of like same game parlay. That one hit the other day. I was thinking about it. I'm like, with 13 games on the ice, I just didn't want to go to it. But tonight with 10, there's a lot of spots that I don't like. I think like a Bratt and Nico Hischier plus 100 over at Bet365. I think Marner and Tavares plus 100 I think is okay. And I mean, I'd just take Domi. I just take Tyler Bertuzzi as a single play. Him and Matthews are plus 100 to find or to hit the score sheet as well. Yeah, Matthews actually, it's surprising. He's getting his goals and he's not really shooting as much. Like he's minus 107 for 5 shots. Like I think plus 130 for a point is really interesting. And again, like the goals is minus 130 for Austin Matthews. But a way to bet him is like first goal at 7-1, or maybe even last goal at 7-1. Maybe they're up by 2 goals, Eric, and the Devils pull their goalie and he's on the ice. Maybe he gets an empty net goal. So it's just different ways to bet Matthews, I think, at this time of the season. But there's no question.
They're going for it.
Adams on it, last goal. Yeah, there's no question that they're going for it, right? Cooch clearly wants 100 assists season, and to win Art Ross, Stammer is 1 away. Stammer is 1 goal away from 40. Still like their point props at home against Ottawa. Yeah, I agree. Like this may be the one game. Like this is the one everyone get their like little milestones, win the game. maybe the Leafs lose or something like that, and they feel like they want to play their guys in the last couple, but I'd say they rest next week. We'll see. Keep an eye on this. It's tough, man. This time of the year, it is a little bit tough to handicap some of these games. Moving right along, the Islanders and the Habs. So Montreal, I know that I sound like a broken record, but how about Slafkovsky? How about this kid?
Sat him. I texted you, and I sat him in two fantasy leagues. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I said, the only two people scoring is Suzuki and Caulfield, and they scored 11 goals or whatever it was, and they didn't. Not one of them scored. Of course.
Yeah. I didn't get into it too much. We got better things to talk about here, but Slafkovsky is just he's looking extremely confident, man, and he's got that big body. He's the chemistry between him and Suzuki is actually stronger than the chemistry between Caulfield and Suzuki. These guys are feeling it. Sorokin does make me a little bit nervous, but -120 for a point. I mean, I don't know. Like, this guy's basically a point per game guy here over the last 2 months. So Slafkovsky -120 for a point, going right back to him. He's actually shooting the puck a lot too. At +230, I think he's a guy to consider.
For Varlamov tonight.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Interesting. Patrick Law. The Islanders have a back-to-back here. I know they're playing really good.
They just played, and Sorokin, I think, got pulled. And then
and Varlamov came in. Yes. Okay. But look at these shots from Slafkovsky. 6-4-1, 6-5-6. This guy has at least 4 shots in 5 of his last 6 games, and he is playing heavy minutes. I mean, they dummied the Flyers, so he didn't play a lot, but 18, 18, 22, 18, 20. St. Louis leaning on that top line. They're generating chances every time they touch the ice. So +130 for 3 shots tonight. Man, I'm in. The guy's like averaging like a little over 8 attempts over the last 6 games. So I'm in. Slafkovsky over 2.5 shots and to pick up a point at -110. Oh, the biggest bet of the night. You scare me when you say you got the biggest bet of the night. You scare me, dude. But you're +146 on FanDuel. Wow, that's even better. Okay, Adam's in. He's super sharp. So, I mean, I'm in as well. I already bet it last night, but I kind of bleed blue, blanc, rouge. So it's nice to get some backup here. What do you have on the Islanders side? I mean, Bo Horvat, Brock Nelson. These are the goal scorers in the Islanders.
I'm actually going to go back to Barzal. +175. He's their best offensive player. He just gets in these weird cold streaks. So I think he could bust out of that tonight, and Horvat at 190 as well.
Yeah, Horvat is he's a guy, and again, he's at that threshold in terms of shot props and juiced at -157. But Horvat and Brock Nelson are guys that I'm interested in, and there's a lot to play here for New York. Those are the goal scorers, in my opinion. So those are the two that I would go with here tonight: Brock Nelson and Bo Horvat. And I think the fact that Horvat and Barzal are back together, you can feel good about the same game parlay with those two players as well. Horvat and Barzal for a point at +105. And I mean, I do Suzuki and Caulfield almost every night as well. Just been taking Slafkovsky as a solo, and then Suzuki and Caulfield, and they are +125 for a point as well. I don't think we'll see a ton of offense in this game like we did in Montreal's last game. Okay. And I think the Islanders win. I want to give an upset, but I think the Islanders, like at home, playing really good, so much on the line. I think that they'll take care of the Habs here tonight. It should be a really good one. I think this is the game of the night for me personally, in Dallas, Winnipeg, and the Dallas Stars. And it is looking like Dallas is going to take the Central and potentially the #1 seed in the Western Conference, which may mean Vegas. A date with the Vegas Golden Knights, again, it's going to be a matchup that I'll have to sweat out. But like both of those teams and where they're at. But this one here tonight in Dallas, between the Jets and the Stars, you know who I like. So we'll say it in a little bit here. But I'll throw over to you, but kick it over. Dallas is pretty decent favorite here tonight at minus 145. The Sabres gave them a really good go the other night. Winnipeg checking in at plus 126. Do we have confirmation in net here tonight? It's looking like Hellebuck and Ottinger. Unconfirmed, but I would imagine those two are going to be between the pipes for their respective squads.
Two big boys going at it toe to toe. I mean, could be a super interesting game.
Should be.
Winnipeg, Kyle Connor, he got us one in the last game, kind of like last minute there, 190. And Velarde, and man, when he's in this lineup, man, the lineup is right. Yeah. And we did call it. Yeah. It's just everything fits. Mason Appleton is not playing where he doesn't have to. He's effective. Lowry's effective. This is a very good hockey team, man. Very good hockey team.
And I'm still
side. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. No, my bad. I was gonna finish your thoughts. My bad. I jumped in there.
All right. I'm just gonna say Dallas. I'm gonna go Hintz at 220, and I'm gonna go Wyatt Johnson at 220. He has not let me down yet, man.
Oh man, he's awesome. He's awesome. We talked about him enough. I think Jay made a TikTok for him. But yeah, no, he's fantastic. Velarde's plus 100 for a point. He's plus 240 for an assist. I'll stay away from the shots. I've had the shots before for him. There was a moment in time where he was, hitting over a pretty good sample size, like 3 weeks, where he was hitting every 3 to 4 games. What I was going to say is that Jake Ottinger still looks, and the goal that he let in the other day against the Sabres, it was like from the corner on a rush. Like he still doesn't, I don't know, man. Like he can't afford to let those in come playoff time. He may be the death of us. We're in on Dallas. They can clearly score. They got 8 guys. They got 20 goals, but Ottinger's going to need to be much better here today. And if these two teams met up, there's no question the edge would be in goal would be with the Winnipeg Jets. But some value here in some of these Dallas guys, even as up the lineup is Joe Pavelski at minus 150 for a point. Mason Marchand is plus 130 for a point. Rupe Hintz is minus 140 for a point. But I think for me, it's just, I have no problem going back to it. You know what I mean? Like Wyatt Johnson, minus 130 point. Jamie Benn tonight, minus 130 point. They're playing together. Ben's on that top line. The Stank and Wyatt point parlay. Yeah, it's one that was really successful when Stankoven was first playing and he was called up. I think it hit the other night. I don't hate it. K-Man corner. I would rather go with Ben and Wyatt Johnson. Like they play together at 5 and 5. They're separated on the power play. You get the power play correlation with Stankoven and Wyatt Johnson at 5 and 5 as well. But I think for me, what I will be doing tonight is I will be taking Velarde for a point, Wyatt Johnson for a point, Jimmy Benn for a point, and I think Tyler Seguin for a point. And I'll do the top line again. They hit the other night, but I think typically over the past couple of years have been a little bit more successful on home ice. So Pavelski, Hintz, and Robertson, plus 210 for a point. And then Ben, if you wanted to jump in on a high upside play as opposed to the solos, plus 180 for a point, you add Stankoven in there, K-Man corner. Give no respect to Stankoven. I do agree with that. Plus 450 for Ben, Wyatt Johnson, and Stankoven for a point, or you can just do Stankoven if you wanted to, a plus 130. There's a lot of different ways to go here. Like Dallas to win the game. I'm just going to continue to ride. I think they've won 16 of 18 or 16 of 19. So I'm in on the Stars. Love the Rupe Hintz call by you to score a goal tonight. 2 more games here. The San Jose Sharks and the Seattle Kraken. Lee's not here to tell us go Sharks go. We did hit a couple from the last episode we had on Tuesday when it comes to the Sharks. For me, I know you like him as well. We continue to talk about him as Fabian Zetterlund. Zetterlund is minus 130 to pick up a point tonight over at DraftKings. He was stuck on 2 shots the other day. I thought he was going to get there. He didn't get there. The Kraken, as bad as they've been, their 5-5 numbers are not awful. They don't give up a whole lot of rubber. But for Zetterlund playing so much, right? Kind of similar vibes as Slafkovsky, just a new role, living in the 18 to 20 minute range for a long time here this season. He's got points in 3 straight. He's got 6 over his last 6 games. He's got 3 power play points over that span. He has been clearing 2.5 shots for most of his games, 2, 4, 5, 2, 5, 5, 0, 4, and 3. A really nice campaign from him, averaging 1850 now on the season. And he averaged 13 minutes in his first 22 games at the Sharks last year. So really getting leaned on there. And on the other side, Shane Wright. Did we talk about him?
You did.
I don't know if we talked about him. I think we talked about him a little bit. Couldn't find any point props on him. Mentioned the goal prop, and he scored again. So he's plus 270 to score tonight. He's also 18 to 1 to score the first goal. I mean, I don't know, man. Like this kid's scoring, right? So he's just feeling it at the moment. He's getting opportunity. He's played 4 games since the call up. He's got 4 goals. He's got 4 goals, got 5 points, got a power play point in there, and he's got 10 shots on goal. So he's getting opportunity here, and he's kind of feeling himself right now. And it is the Sharks after all, UI.
Yeah. I do like the 2 young kids for the Sharks, Zetterlund and Eklund. Eklund playing on the first line and the first power play. So it's something to pay attention to. Zetterlund is getting a lot of the talk, but Eklund has worked his way up the lineup as well. And he's at, what is he at? Plus 320. Seattle side, I'm going Burakovsky. He scored on Tuesday. I had him on Tuesday to score. So I'm going to go back to that 270, and I'm going to go right as well. 270, like you said. I mean, both teams are really playing for nothing. San Jose has got nothing to play for. Seattle's got nothing to play for. It'll be cool to see Wright. 2 of the cooler jerseys in the league. And that's the only reason to watch. Playing for nothing.
How about Granlund, Zetterlund, and Ekholm 2 points? But Bet3 Surprises really adjusted their 2-point parlays, I think, since we had some success, and I would imagine a lot of people did, hitting like 55 to 1s and things for like 2 points. But now 12 to 1, it seems like the odds aren't great at 12 to 1 for these San Jose guys to have 2 points, but they're playing really good. You mentioned Eklund up the lineup. 2-point night for those 2 guys is 12 to 1. Even a 2-point night for Granlund and Zetterlund is plus 650.
Nice.
I was thinking about Matty Beniers. It's been a little bit better lately because it's the Sharks. Maybe do a little Matty Beniers point. Let me get the odds on that one. Kind of dig it. Some late night action here. He's been good. Right? He's got he's hit the score sheet in 5 of his last 7 games. A little too late, Matty, right? A little bit of a slow start there. But he's minus 125 for a point. And he's got 4 goals over that span as well. And part of this is like playing some bad teams, like play the Ducks 3 times, play the Sharks, Arizona 5-0 win. But hey, man, the matchups are right. When they played San Jose on April 1st, he had a goal on 4 shots, and he's not a big shooter. So Matty Beniers for a point at minus 125 for me. And then we'll wrap it up with the Flames in the LA Kings. Man, I'm not gonna lie to the people, man. I was devastated with the Kings' performance the other night. I was all in on LA. I had these guys to win in regulation, win on the puck line. Adrian Kempe, Anze Kopitar points, Trevor Moore, Victor Arvidsson points. Like, come on, no excuse for the LA Kings to go into Anaheim and lose 3-1. Like, come on. So now they got the Flames here today. I think we have to go to Kuzmenko, right? We have to go back to this guy. He's just like red hot.
I got him. First guy I put down.
First guy you put down in the game or on your sheet in general?
On my sheet.
Wow. He's your guy. I mean, how can he not be? He's got points in 6 straight. 5 of them have been multi-point games. He's got 5 goals over that span. He's got 6 power play points over that span. He's shooting and he's playing. So
playing with the best center and playing to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
And the best part about him, the books haven't caught up, and he's plus 310.
Haven't caught up at all. He's
Put him
minus
in.
105 for a point. He's plus 195 for an assist. He's 3-1 for a power play point and plus 320 to score a goal, 20-1 for a first goal here. There's some terrific odds, even minus 166. Talking about shot props that are juiced, like that's one that I would put in to some sort of parlay as well. Man, I'm with you. Kuzmenko, like, let me try to find 2-point odds. What else do you have in the game?
You got Sharon Govich. He's had a bit of a little hot streak here at the end of the thing. I think I said on Tuesday he's set the record for the most goals by a Belarusian player ever in the history of the NHL. So that's super cool. We've always liked him. A big dude, can skate. Yeah. Had a very good year for Calgary. Going to be a really good player at some point. 290. LA, Kempe 180, and I'm going to go Arvidsson at 230.
Nice. Even over at 365, like Kadri and Kuzmenko plus 170 for a point. Even Kadri's minus 150 for a point. No, it's the Kings, and they play this trap style of hockey, the 1-3-1 BS that they play. But this line is just too hot to ignore at the moment. I don't really care too much about the matchup, and it's not like the Kings have fantastic goaltending on the other side. Kempe and Kopitar burned me about plus 115 for these two guys. And I think that Arvidsson, I think there's really good value on Arvidsson and Trevor Moore at plus 180 to pick up points as well. It didn't work out for us the other game, but we got to go back to it. Stammer is 1 away from 40. They ain't sitting him. All right. I agree. They probably won't get these milestones. I'll tell you what, there's some bad blood going on between Tampa and Steven Stamkos, the front office and Stamkos. It's been talked about before the season. He wanted the contract. They didn't want to pay him. He isn't happy about it. But yeah, Stamkos, I would say, wants his 40. What a slap in the face it would be for the organization to say, no, you're not going to play. But I would agree. Like Kreider is 1 away from 40. There's some other milestones out there. These guys are going to get their milestones, but maybe after tonight, they said. I just wanted to bring to attention, like before you guys wake up in the morning and make all your bets at this time of the season, I think it's very important to wait for news, at least wait for morning skates and lineups just to see. Teams do weird things at this time of the season. And, if you hammered the Sens or the Lightning at minus 140, they could be minus 125. Like things could change a little bit here. Die Hard MMA podcast, the drill. Love you guys starting from the beginning of the video. Enjoy. Shout out to your guy Dylan Gunther getting it done. Wouldn't mind the Blue Jackets giving Stammer the bag to end his career if it all blows up in Tampa. Troy doesn't want to rebuild at all. He just wants to get. Yeah, he's ready. Like give him Stamkos, give him John Tavares. See what you can get there. Clint, I live bet the Yotes yesterday. So sick. All right, let's wrap this one up. I think it's a conversation for another day, but I actually think that there's a real possibility that Stamkos is not with the Lightning. It would be super weird to see next year if that was the case.
Would be super weird.
It would be. Yeah, it's possible, man. Let's see. Okay, for tonight, money line stuff here. The Leafs in 60 in regulation. They're just playing too good. Minus 130 for the Maple Leafs to win in regulation. I agree with the crew here with the Rangers at minus 140 in regulation as well. A team at home chasing down the top spot in the Metro and another team in the Flyers who are just absolutely in shambles. And this is what I'm talking about. The Lightning have moved from the start of the show when we talked about the Lightning at minus 140, they're now minus 125. So what's the movement? What's with the movement? Like why are we seeing that? I thought I saw the minus 140 this morning. Maybe I need more sleep. But minus 125 to win in 60 is pretty solid as long as the guys are playing in that game. Some other things here tonight before we throw over to EY in terms of sides. I do like the Panthers. I probably will bet them personally for me on the puck line at minus 150. Sorry, Troy, to win by 2 goals here tonight. And I am going to side with the Islanders. Habs are a team that keeps things close, but minus 130 for New York at home to win in regulation, take care of business tonight, and get closer to the playoffs. So for me on this board, Maple Leafs in 60, Islanders in 60, a lot of in 60 bets for me today. The Rangers in 60 as well. And then keep an eye on the Lightning, but pretty good price at minus 125 for New York. Florida on the puck line I am going with the Dallas Stars at home at -145, and my upset of the night, SJ Sharkey. Sharks plus
No way.
205 to go into Seattle and beat them. Fabian
Good happened.
Zetterlund, Eklund, Granlund. Let's go. Give me the Sharks for the upset of the night. What you got for goal scorers?
That's fun. Apologize to the people watching and listening. I'm very tired. I was telling Chris before we got on here, I had a rec league game pretty late last night, and we got beat pretty bad. We play like middle C, and the team that we're playing certainly isn't middle C. And a kid scored and sheathed his sword. And I couldn't sleep. I can't believe that someone would do that in rec league hockey. He did it. And here's the best part. Huge celebration. He sheathed his stick like it was a sword. That was like goal number 11. We had 2. And the best part is he didn't score. Didn't go in. So am I insane? Like,
no.
Or am I old? Like, it's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable in any way.
Not in like no, like I get people are get excited and celebrate and have some fun.
Celebrate. Cool.
Also, like, don't show up. Yeah, it's poor sportsmanship. You're already up what sounded like 9 or 10 goals. Yeah, no need of it. Yeah, you're fired up today.
I haven't been able to sleep. I'm going to take a nap right after this. But here's the goal scorers. And I'm telling you, willing the 8-way maniac parlay into existence. Willing it.
All right, here we go.
I'm betting $5 on it today, not just one.
Okay. Oh,
all right.
Wow. Okay.
Here we go. Yeah, my voice is messed up, so bear with me. All right. Kachuk, Giroux, Kucherov, Stamkos, Ovi, Strome, Tage, Benson, Voronkov, Marashenko, Reinhart, Kachuk, Konechny, Tippett, Panarin, Kreider, Larkin, Kane, Crosby, Malkin, Bratt, Meyer, Matthews, Nylander, Caulfield, Suzuki, Barzell, Horvat, Connor, Velarde, Hintz, Johnson, Zetterlund, Eklund, Burakovsky, Wright, Kuzmenko, Sharangovich, Kempe, Arvidsson. The 8-way maniac parlay goes as follows. Kucherov, Ovi, Tage, Reinhart, Larkin, Crosby, Matthews, Connor. Matthews is the lock of the night to score. That interesting bet I was telling you about is Eklund, Kuzmenko, Voronkov, and Benson to all score.
Oh, wow.
I think $1 pays you like $9.80.
That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. I was thinking the same thing, TJ, when EY was telling the story. So how badly did you beat his ass, EY? He took his number. He took his number.
I never got on the ice again, but he was like by our bench, and I'm like, what are you? He's young, right? He might be 25. I'm like, what are you doing, man? It's 11 o'clock at night. You guys are winning 11-2, and you're playing in a middle C league. You suck at hockey like I suck at hockey. And you just sheathe your sword like a child.
TJ asks, how awesome would it be to have a video of EY super flexing some guy on the ice? That would be fantastic. I would never be here for it.
I would never hit anyone because you're not allowed to. I would never intentionally hurt someone. But next time we play these guys, I won't play hockey. I will literally follow that kid around. He will not touch the puck. He will not skate down the middle of the ice. I will harass him. I will make him quit rec league. There's nothing he can do. Like, I'm not a good player, but I outweigh the guy probably 100 pounds. I'm just going to follow him around. I'm not even going to look at the puck. I'm just going to follow him around, and I'm going to bully him, and he's going to quit.
Can Sarah go to the game and record it for us?
I would never submit her to that. It's unwatchable.
K-Man Corner says, take him out Morgan Riley styles. I love it. Yeah, just like, hey, old school, be on him, like, just
I don't want, like, I'm
sticks
not a
on him
guy
all
that
the
takes it super
time.
serious. I'm there for the exercise and for fun. And all the guys on the rest of the guys on his team are cool guys. They play hard, no problems. I don't, if you can score. I'm not saying don't run up the score, because I'm going to do the same thing to you. If I can score 3 goals, I'm going to score 3 goals. That's what I paid for. But sheathing your stick like it's a sword twice, and then scoring again and doing the yawn emoji. I was like, clearly, this is not a middle C player. This is a player that probably played college somewhere or is currently playing college hockey somewhere and shouldn't be on the ice with a bunch of old men trying to have a little swirl at 11 o'clock at night. But this is how things are run here in Nashville.
Gotta have some respect. I mean, that stuff kind of happens. My rec league's got some lunatics in it as well. TJ says he's gonna have to get a new hockey shorts after the game. EY is gonna man mark this kid and send him home in a diaper. Love it. K-Man Corner, to answer your question, Daily Faceoff will update their lines after skates. Left Wing Lock doesn't. They're not as active. They're more of like a day after kind of website. Like, hey, this is how the lines look. This is the combinations and percentages and stuff. But
they're usually pretty good with the goalies. But
yeah. Daily Faceoff will. It's all basically, they're following just the way we are on Twitter. Like when morning skates happen, they adjust them, and pregame they adjust them as well. So Daily Faceoff is pretty decent, but also they do make some mistakes, but they're pretty decent there. And I think I saw a question about Vasilevsky. It doesn't look like he's going to play. Maybe that's part of the line movement. Yeah, it doesn't, and nothing's confirmed here yet, but I think that we'll see Matt Tompkins in net for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So again, these are things that are going to happen down the stretch of the season. Starting goalies are going to get rested and things like that. But it's still like Tampa, as long as Kucherov and Point and Hedman are on the ice, Stamkos going for 40. We still like them. To wrap up, my favorite props here today. This is probably one of the shortest cards I've ever had. Maybe this is a good thing. We'll start here with Kuzmenko point, right? We've been talking about him, riding Kuzmenko for a point, Zetterlund for a point. I'm going back to Wyatt Johnson and Jamie Benn. I also think there's really good value with Rupe Hintz and Joe Pavelski for points. I know that it's Connor Hellebuck. That's pretty much baked into why we're getting really good odds on like the top line. We've just been getting, minus 130, minus 105 for Wyatt Johnson and Jamie Benn for weeks and weeks and weeks. Wyatt Johnson's got 44 points in his last 44 games. So I'm going to take that one. Slafkovsky for a point and for 3 shots. I think, as Szymanski shouted out earlier, I think the best book is FanDuel at plus 146, but plus money across the board for Juraj Slafkovsky to have 3 shots. I like him to hit the score sheet tonight. I got Bertuzzi for a point. I think that 3 shots at plus money is a pretty interesting little flyer as well for Bertuzzi. Lafreniere for a point. Panarin for a 2-point night. Mention if Kucherov plays, right? It just kind of seems like an automatic bet at this point for Nikita Kucherov as he tries to get as many points as he can. Minus 105 for a point. Anthony Duclair is plus 105 for a point. Like Tarasenko at minus 140. Like Barkov for 2 points at plus 135. The same game parlay stuff tonight, like Tuck and Tage, those 2 guys. I think you can put in Peterka in there if you want to. Kreider's playing really good. Kreider and Mika Zibanejad are playing really good. I mean, it gets overlooked because Panarin's been just awesome. But Kreider, I mean, the Flyers just gave up 9 to the Habs, right? So we can do some things here apart from the singles on Panarin and Lafreniere. Kreider and Mika Zibanejad for a point. Maybe you can do Lafreniere and Trocheck for a point. I would take Kreider and Mika together, same game parlay, and just take the singles on Laf and Panarin, Crosby and Rust. Florida guys are just too juiced to take like same game parlay stuff there, but there's a little bit of value. You did Bennett or Kachuk, something like that. New Jersey, I do like Nico and Bratt. I think that, Jersey probably scores a goal or 2. So Nico and Bratt together, same game parlay stuff there. Just taking Bertuzzi as a solo. Suzuki and Caulfield, Barzell and Horvat. those are probably two of my favorites in the two legs for same game parlays there for points. Dallas, again, you can do the top line plus 210 worked out. Velarde, I didn't mention Velarde. Do like Velarde, right? Jake Onger's been a little shaky, so definitely like Velarde there for a point. And the Dallas guys, I'd say even like Sagan and Duchesne are good for a point as well in the same game parlay. The Sharks, who mentioned the top line, we have some fun with this one. 12-1 for a little bit of a small sprinkle, pizza money. Just put $1 on it or something at 12-1 for Zetterlund and Granlund and Eklund for a point. Is like plus 210, and then for all those guys for 2 points is 12-1. Matty Beniers for a point, no same game stuff there, and Kempe and Kopitar in there as well. You could do Kadri and Kuzmenko if you wanted to. So there's a lot there. I would rank them top 5. I'd say like Barzal, Horvat, Suzuki, Caulfield, Rust, Crosby, Tage, and Kreider and Mika, and then Tage and Thompson. Tage and Tuck. I need sleep too. You may have talked about it earlier, but you guys together are targeting Matthews goals betting wise each game to get 70, or when they're putting it out at minus 133, it's almost not a play now. I know, like the only way that I would bet Matthews, I haven't been doing this. I don't bet goal scorers at that price, but at the end of the day, if they hit, then obviously it's a profit. The way that I would do it is I would sprinkle on like the first or last at 7-1. What we talked about earlier is that maybe the Devils, pull their goalie. They're down by a couple goals. They got Matthews on the ice, to try to get as many as he can. So like 7-1 is a pretty interesting way to bet him. Or, you have to kind of put him into like a parlay, pick 3 or 4 guys, round robin it, and put him in that way. But yeah, it's for me, it's not a goal scorer at minus 133 is not for me. But man, I tell you what, like this guy, they're trying to get it. And I'd say
very clear.
I'd say he scores tonight. I mean, he's scoring every other night. It's the Devils, right? So I'd say he gets one. Yeah. Anyways,
good guy to put into a parlay, right? Like, we're not saying bet on it by itself. It's just, I believe he scores. And I'm most sure about anyone scoring, it's him. That's why I got him as the lock of the night tonight.
And I think even 5 shots, even though he hasn't been completely hitting the past couple of games, I've went to him and I've been burned. I've been kind of surprised. I mean, the attempts are there every night from him, but the last couple of games, 4-2-3-2. But I mean, EY, he's scored in 6 straight games.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. All right, we're out of here. Good luck, guys. Fans yelling at Bertuzzi over was. I love the last goal. It was a huge deal. He didn't get it. Touch the ice the last game. Empty net fans were yelling Bertuzzi scored. This is a way to fan plus 220 to get 70 doesn't even seem like, I mean, 4 goals over the next 4 games plus 220 to get 70 doesn't even seem like great odds, but I'd say he does it. I'd say he gets 70 with matchups against Detroit, Florida, and Tampa after, and the potential of the rest between those, Florida teams. I'd say he gets it done. All right, we're out of here, guys. Good luck on the ice. We will talk to you on Tuesday. We'll have a clearer picture. Check out ftnbets.com today for the free article, and we will talk NHL Bracket Challenge as well. I believe that article is going live today at Dangle Bet Celly League, and we want you guys in it. So we'll talk about that on Tuesday. Get some sleep, EY. Don't worry about that kid, man. You'll get him next week. Cheers.
I'm not worried about him. I just wanted to bring it to the table here.
I know you're not worried about it. You should be worried. That's for sure. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk soon.